A juvenile in Raleigh, California has killed 5 people, injured others, and he was shot by the police.
That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Attention parents in the United States of America. Y'all children, some of y'all children, they're out of control. All of this gunplay that they're getting their hands on guns, why? Why is there a teenager out there shooting and killing 5 people, injuring others, and laying himself in a position where he is shot by the police? Your parents are failing. You need to do better with your children. Put your firearms up. They're not supposed to be in a child's possession. Your children out there running buck wild. They're killing each other. They're killing other people. And y'all need to stay on top of what your kids are doing, their emotions, who they're hanging around, what are they getting into. I think y'all have become lackadaisic about what your children are doing. You're not paying attention to them, and they just getting into shit. I'm going to have to say that is a fail. You fail. Do better with your children. Do better. Find out what is going on in their head, in that brain up there. Figure it out. Get them some help. And if you can't raise your children right, give them to somebody else or put them somewhere else where somebody else can raise children right. Because this is ridiculous. Do better next time. Damn. Welcome to Straddled Events. On this channel, we bring you the truth. Sometimes the truth is quite ugly, unbearable, and you just don't want to deal with it. But on this channel, you're gonna get it anyway. You are straddled the fence of good versus evil, right versus wrong. And on this channel, we're gonna tell you to do better. Please like, dislike, subscribe, and share the videos. Now let's go.
Tonight. Let's begin with Josh Chapin with the latest from that briefing at the news conference at City Hall moments ago.
Steve, an emotional night here inside Raleigh City Hall. We heard from the mayor, the governor here as well in front of the podium a few minutes ago. The mayor emotional, as was everyone else here. The mayor saying today's been a difficult day in our city. These law enforcement officers ran to the crisis when they knew there was an active shooter ready to kill people. We learned tonight, as you mentioned, that a white male juvenile, that's all it was described to us tonight, was taken into custody a little after 9:30 tonight. We heard this afternoon that authorities had surrounded him in a barn, but tonight we can confirm for you that a suspect has been taken into custody. We're still not able to get any more detail tonight about the 4 other people that were shot and killed tonight. We know 5 were shot and killed. One of them is a off-duty Raleigh police officer, but 4 people shot in the Neuse River Greenway. There were 2 other people that were shot and taken to the hospital. One of those was an RPD canine officer. That officer has been released from the hospital. The other person shot remains in critical condition over at WakeMed. Take a listen to what Governor Cooper had to say. No doubt everyone emotional here, if we can roll that sound.
Tonight, terror has reached our doorstep. The nightmare of every community has come to Raleigh. This is a senseless, horrific, and infuriating act of violence that has been committed.
An infuriating act of violence, no doubt. And what was noticeable to me, Stephen Lauren, was Lieutenant Jason Borneo, who was pinch hitting tonight for Chief Stella Patterson. We know she is on her way back from Dallas. We think tonight she was at a professional standards conference, and you can tell when he was reading from his paper, he was incredibly emotional, saying that when one Raleigh police officer loses their life, everyone is affected by this. So supposedly we're going to get another update from RPD as well as from city officials tomorrow morning at 8:30. The investigation, so much there, continues at this hour. Back to you guys.
And another key moment from the governor just minutes ago saying, let's pray for the victims and the families and the communities shocked by this tonight. Josh Chapin live at Raleigh City Hall. Thank you very much. It was really an extraordinary law enforcement response tonight that did ultimately, after many hours, lead to the arrest of that young gunman in Raleigh.
Yeah, we know officers with the Raleigh Police Department were not the only ones on the ground. We saw a large presence, the ATF, Wake deputies also joining into that search.
Governor Cooper was keeping people updated through the evening. This is what the governor tweeted earlier this evening about his involvement with all of this. He says, I've spoken with Mayor Baldwin and instructed state law enforcement to provide assistance responding to the active shooter in East Raleigh. State and local officers are on the ground working to stop that shooter and keep people safe. The governor elaborated on that state level law enforcement response just a few minutes ago, outlining all the different state agencies who came to help in Raleigh tonight.
Saying first he wanted to thank everyone, and with a lot of law enforcement agencies assisting in the very fluid and complicated search and investigation, there was some confusion and some conflicting reports earlier. The town of Knightdale actually tweeting out an apology after prematurely writing the suspect was captured. Town officials saying, we apologize for posting conflicting information regarding the situation involving this evening's active shooter.
Denise Price has been our reporter in the Hedingham neighborhood through the evening, an evening of so much anxiety for so many people who have been kept out of their homes. Some people have been allowed to return, others have not, but they're also processing this immense tragedy that happened in their neighborhood.
Jamise, I know you just spoke to some people recently.
That's right, Lauren. We also made our way deeper into this community. We're right here at Castle Pines Drive, where we believe a part of that investigation started. And not too long ago, we saw the mobile command center make its way throughout this community as well, along with other RPD officers. I spoke with a neighbor not too long ago as well, and he told me just before 5 o'clock, he saw 4 Raleigh police officers zoom through, and as soon as they came, they left out. So a lot of folks just really concerned about what happened in their neighborhood. A lot of people told me that they got out of the neighborhood maybe about 5 minutes before all of this unfolded. So a lot of people just really shaken by everything that unfolded. Take a listen to some of the people I met tonight.
It's a little unsettling. It's also unsettling to know that I missed it by 5 minutes, and I'm feeling very grateful for that.
I was actually out here when it started, and actually I believe they said they was up on a golf course shooting, and we was out here, so really scared. It's scary. We've been here for like 25 years and just ready to move now. I mean, it's too much.
Too much. A lot of folks just really shaken, heartbroken too, clearly not knowing if these are their neighbors who were killed in this active shooter situation. Also, RPD remains here in this community, this area just behind me taped off, and these officers will be here for a while. Before we made our way back to this portion of the neighborhood, we were on that main drag where folks were still trying to get home, waiting for hours there, but just processing what happened. You know, to hear that woman say she was just in the neighborhood 5 minutes before all of this unfolded. So a lot of people just grateful to be alive tonight. Lauren and Steve.
Jamise Price in the Hedingham neighborhood. Jamise, thank you. And that is where the investigation continues, according to the RPD. They're talking to witnesses. They are gathering evidence right there. So that is still very much an active part of the investigation. Those numerous crime scenes in the Hedingham neighborhood. From there, the manhunt went farther east from there, across the Neuse River to an area north of Old Millburney Road and just west of I-540. That's where they were able to find that suspect tonight.
That's right. Joel Brown has been near that scene. He says he found out it was more of a metal shed. We had heard garage and we'd heard different things. Joel, what can you tell us at this hour?
Yeah, Lauren, what did the governor say? How did he put it? Terror has reached our doorstep. Well, that terror ended here. We're at the corner of Old Millburney Road and McConnell Olive Drive. You can see those Raleigh police cruisers behind us. They are blocking off McConnell Olive Drive because not far down that road is where that shed is, that metal shed, that structure where that teenage boy armed with a long gun made his way to after opening fire in the Hedingham subdivision. He came here. He found haven here in this structure and proceeded to lead a standoff with Raleigh police that lasted for several hours. We heard from sources as this was going on in real time that at one point RPD sent one of its drones in to try and get eyes on the suspect. At one point, I know you guys have had reporting on this during the coverage too, that they sent Raleigh PD sent in its robot to try and get some eyes in. Well, at some point later in the evening, Raleigh police made the decision to move in on that shed, and that is where they confronted the suspect face to face and opened fire on that suspect. The suspect shot and wounded, and we're hearing from sources that he was transported to Wake Med. We do not know the condition of that teenage boy who is the center of all of this. When we rolled up, we were on Old Mill Burney Road for what seems like hours as RPD was blocking off traffic on this side of town because of what was going on behind us. When we pulled in, this is the scene. This is as close as we can get, because there is, while we heard Jamise has a very active investigation on her side of East Raleigh, on this side an equally large investigation as RPD and other crime scene investigators go over the scene here inside that shed where this all came to an end just a little while ago. Stephen, Lauren.
Yeah. Joel makes the point that ended there. It started somewhere else, but it's been going on all day tonight, or all day today. And we've been able to talk to people and kind of understand how this has happened in different parts of our city today.
Joel, thank you. One of the big bits of news from Joel there is that the young juvenile male gunman is now at Wake Med, so presumably has some injuries. As you mentioned, we were talking to people through the day, through the evening here live on our coverage on Eyewitness News. One of them was Victoria McGraw, and she described what was happening inside her home there in Hedingham. She saw all the police activity. She was very concerned about it. She was home with one of her children at the time, and she described for us what was happening there. She looked out the window. She was taking pictures for us as officers were working to keep everyone safe there.
Police officers were you could tell it was a very high situation, because the officers were yelling, not in a way of like, oh my gosh, they're yelling at me, but they were yelling in the sense of, go in your house, we want you to stay in your house. And as I'm like going back, that the officer, one of the officers, informed me that there was a gunman around.
And these were the pictures she sent us from her neighborhood showing the response there. Some officers there with their guns drawn, and she described officers yelling when people would come outside, Steve, to go back inside, go back inside. It is not safe. Now's not the time to be outside.
As this was unfolding on our live coverage nonstop here on Eyewitness News tonight, we also checked in with a Raleigh City Council member, Corey Branch, as he and other council members and the mayor were working to piece this together.
Yeah, at that point, the suspect was not in custody, but he did describe the moment that he knew something was not right.
So I was actually driving, and I saw a lot of blue lights going very fast in my community, going to a scene. So that's how I knew something had happened. And I was just trying to wait on getting details and information.
That is Raleigh City Councilman Corey Branch. We're also getting some details from the Wake County District Attorney Lauren Freeman. She says her office, prosecutors, are now working with law enforcement agencies on this immense job of piecing this together. And she says we need to mourn together, we need to comfort each other, and they are assisting in the process of getting in touch with the loved ones of these 5 people who were shot and killed in East Raleigh today.